This is ZNS Storm Watch Update, brought to you by BTC.
You are looking live outside the ZNS studios as Hurricane Sandy bears down on the Bahamas. Winds have started to pick up and the rains are picking up as well. Good evening, I'm Candino Knowles. We head right over to meteorologist Basil Dean for the latest on the storm. Basil?
Well, Candino, there's been no significant change over the last hour. Sandy is still a Category 2 hurricane, packing winds of 105 miles per hour. The only difference is it is now located, the center that is, near the northern coast of Cat Island, and it is moving towards the north at 20 miles per hour, and that position puts it just about 60 miles to the southeast of Eleuthera. And on that northward track, it should increase the winds over Eleuthera over the next several hours. So hopefully within the next 2 hours or so, we'll have some reports coming out of Eleuthera to give to you. But otherwise, all we're asking the residents in those affected areas to simply stay indoors. This is a very dangerous and powerful hurricane as it makes its northward track through the islands. And we will certainly give you an indication when the all clear is there.
Thanks a lot, Basil. Well, we still have teams out and about around the capital. Our Janaea Noel Ferguson reports on conditions at Long Wharf.
We're here on Long Wharf where the weather conditions have begun to pick up considerably. The rain is down, the wind is pretty strong at this point. If you look behind me, the coconut trees are really moving, and we're advising people to please stay indoors. As you take a look out on Bay Street, we still see a lot of people still on the road. Looking over here at the water situation, it's pretty rough out there. The conditions are beginning to pick up, waves crashing against the shoreline, and we're advising people to please remain indoors. We did speak with some fishermen this morning who did try to get in before the real brunt of the storm. Speaking to our meteorologist, we expect for storm conditions to really pick up between 6 and 7 o'clock. We just want all persons, if you are outdoors at this time, we still see a lot of cars driving around. If you are outdoors, please get inside. We want everyone and their family to be safe. If you are in a low-lying area, get to the nearest shelter. We'll have a list of those, and keep listening to the ZNS Network News for the latest information on Hurricane Sandy.
All right, the National Emergency Management Agency continuing to keep the public abreast of how Hurricane Sandy is impacting the Bahamas. We head live to Altaviz Munnings for an update.
Good afternoon, Bahamas. Again, I'm here at the National Emergency Management Agency's Emergency Operations Center, where government officials continue to monitor the track and impact of Hurricane Sandy. Among those government officials here is the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Works and Urban Development, the Honorable Philip Davis, who's joining me live now. And Minister Davis, tell us what assessment you got when you arrived here at NEMA's EOC this afternoon.
Well, heartening news. The hurricane, unfortunately, is going directly over Cat Island, my constituency, at about 105 miles of not sustained. It's at wind, maximum winds. Talking to Cat Island, we found about a lot of flooding in the south, and there's expected flooding in the north. The fortunate thing about this hurricane at the moment, when we last saw it, is moving rather quickly. It was estimated to be moving at 20 miles per hour, and hence that is good news. From all accounts, there have been no loss of lives. Damages have not yet been assessed, save for the fact that we know there's been some flooding. Insofar as the impact with the residents in Cat Island and Rumkey and San Salvador I also spoke to, they don't have that brunt. There's flooding in both of those islands, but the impact of the hurricane could perhaps be determined by the amount of persons who would have sought shelter in shelter centers. Unfortunately, there are not that many, which suggests that the impact is not as devastating on the persons living, inhabitants on the islands as one would not ordinarily expect. And so that's good news. Insofar as the overall impact of the hurricane, I'm happy to see that NEMA here, having looked at what they're doing and seeing the hard-working personnel here, I'm happy to say that they are ready, and they have anticipated well, and they are meeting the challenges that the hurricane is now imposing.
Minister, did any of your constituents express concern about Hurricane Sandy impact, knowing that we are 1 year later since Hurricane Irene that greatly impacted Cat Island?
Whenever concerns are being expressed, but as I said, thankfully, to date, and the hurricane is still over Cat Island. To date, we are weathering it, and hopefully we'll weather it well when it passes.
Thank you so much. Deputy Prime Minister Philip Davis joining us live here at the National Emergency Management Agency's Emergency Operations Center. It was his first time here for the day. We understand that Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Perry Christie, was here earlier this afternoon. I also want to tell you, Bahamas, that police officials advise all Bahamians everywhere, especially those islands that are in the track of Hurricane Sandy, to please stay indoors. Once again, police advising all Bahamians throughout the country to stay indoors, and they can only leave once Hurricane Sandy passes for their safety. Reporting live from the National Emergency Management Agency's Emergency Operations Center, I'm Altaviz Munnings for the ZNS News Network. Back to you in studio.
All right, Alto. The brunt of Hurricane Sandy has yet to hit the island of Bimini, but strong winds have already caused down lines on that northern island. Now, despite the conditions, BTC officials were recently seen restoring lines as they look to keep the general public in touch as much as they can. Well, this has been Storm Watch on the ZNS News Network. Be sure and join us back here again at 7 o'clock for a full hour as we continue our coverage on Hurricane Sandy. Once again, I'm Candido Knowles. Good evening.
This has been a ZNS Storm Watch update brought to you by BTC.